We bought a building!
Shooting star in the sky, glimpse of hope in your eyes. Burn the old me together, finding you was a missing part. Feels like it's a start, and I won't stay in a comfortable silence. I won't talk about myself in violence. Ever since you, ever since you.
So yes, we bought a building. In the last 2.5 months, it's been really stressful and it's been really hard to put out the content that we've wanted to because we've been so wrapped up in the purchase of this building. Now, was purchasing a building for the company part of our plans? Yes. Did we plan for it to happen right now, immediately, under a rush during a housing crisis when interest rates soaring over 8% for commercial? That was not in our plan. There were some circumstances that were outside of our control with the building that we've been leasing for the last 3 years that all of a sudden it wasn't available anymore. So we had to act quickly, and living in a small island, there's already not enough housing for the locals, let alone the seasonal workers that come through, let alone for commercial purposes. So it's been an absolute, I don't want to say nightmare, but it's been very, very tough and one of the biggest challenges that we've gone through. And there's been a lot that we've overcome in the last 8 years of running the company. So while yes, this wasn't our plan, it just didn't happen or unfold the way that we were hoping. But we're looking forward to what's to come. We're excited. We've been recording, I'd say about like 75, 80% of the process up until this point. So there's lots of content that's going to unfold, and we're really excited to share it with you.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much since April, we got the call about it. And honestly, our first instinct wasn't to buy. We wanted to rent another spot with the option to buy later down the road. But that didn't really work out as we planned. But the place we found, and you'll see it at the end of this video, is and you saw it at the beginning, is really an amazing spot. And yeah, I've been recording a lot of everything that happened. We didn't record a lot coming up to this just because the process was so long.
It was very, and it's a commercial real estate transaction doesn't ever happen quickly. We're talking appraisals. We're talking about, that's if we had everything ready to go, paperwork, files, documentation. I mean, a lot goes into, your company purchasing an asset to that extent.
Well, and usually at a traditional bank is a large down payment. We didn't end up going traditional, but we are going to refinance traditional right away. A lot of it was the accelerated, and a lot of it was people in our corners who helped us find the right people to get this done in something that we could actually move into, because commercial just isn't like buying a house.
As a down payment.
Yeah. So, there was just all those added stresses, what we were going to come up with to appease the people we were doing, that we were trying to get the money from. It all worked out. There was definitely a couple lows and, some highs. And
major lows and major highs. Yeah. And it's just been really tough. And there was a lot of moments of uncertainty. And I don't think we were in a spot where we already felt like we had to make emotional decisions because we were basically told we had 30 days until they needed possession of their building back. Luckily, Jeremy was able to negotiate that because we are an operating business. That's not enough notice for all the specialized equipment we have. We have to fly a technician up here. It's more complicated than that. So we are fortunate that we were able to negotiate to some extent the timeline.
Yeah. And we can go deeper into that. I think once we're done with everything and the build is done, we'll sit and really talk about the process. I think one of the other things that benefited us, of course, it's also with living in a small town, is that the lady or the people that were renting the building to us were also the people selling the other building. Not them personally selling it, but they were the agents of that building. And so we were able to negotiate that because they wanted to get the deal done. And so, yeah, it's just been a finite of doing stuff. Plus, it's summer. I mean, if you're watching the videos, all the stuff that goes on for Woodlands, just all of our normal summer stuff. We actually are basically doing an annual report during the move too. That's gonna start
Yeah, I
happening.
mean, not to mention during this whole process, we've been trying to produce for our clients,
Yep.
keep communication going, keep projects going out the door, keep the store stocked. As you know, we have a symbiotic business model between our two entities. So we've been trying to manage all of that, not let anyone fall through the cracks while making this transaction, jumping when we had to get documentation gathered. It's
Yeah.
just it's been, I think, one of the toughest things that we've had to overcome business wise, but not to mention, we suffered a really tragic loss in January.
Yeah.
And then I get this call 2 months later. I mean, I haven't even learned how to grieve yet. And more bad news on top of tragic loss, on top of just so many other things.
Yeah.
It's
It was a lot. 2024 has been a lot, but the way we're looking at it, and like Spring said, this was in our plans, but was in the original plans. And I know I hinted in some other videos, but our goal was always to build an Airbnb. We were pulling all the strings to get that done. That was the only reason we even had like the cash that we needed to do this transaction, was because we were sitting on, and we have been sitting on for about 8 months. December we got the go ahead to start building the house, but that had its own challenges. And so now I'm looking at it as like, we're going to get this done, we're going to refinance it, we're going to get back onto building what we want to do. And I think it's also the process has learned that, yes, it's been very hard. It really made buying the house a cakewalk. And I felt like we jumped through a lot of hoops buying the house too,
yeah.
mainly because where we live. But I realized that as our business has grown, we have to actually realize that we're not just the brand anymore. The business is the cog, and we're just the, I want to say just the owners, because we still do a lot of stuff, but we have to start finding the help to continue to grow. We are, going from 1,000 square feet to well, when the upper part is done, it'll be about 4,200 square feet of usable space. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I think it's just a lot of realizations for us that we have successfully grown this business for 8 years, but growing means we have to start learning to
Let
let
go.
go and let the business and be what our strongest suits are, and that's finding more clients, and that's branching out to outside of Ketchikan, and that's and so
We had so many moments of doubt. Are we done? Like, is
yeah,
the business just done? Like, are we just gonna walk away from it all?
yeah,
Honestly, because there was nowhere to go, nowhere to move into, and we thought for a very good moment that we were finished.
yeah,
And and then we started to realize, okay, let's find some good here. While this isn't the way we wanted it to happen, this needed to happen. Maybe this was the push and the shove that we needed. There's reason behind this. And so that's the way that we're gonna approach this. And while we will have probably a couple of videos looking back over the last 2 months, 2.5 months, while we've been overcoming and kind of riding through this wave, we also don't want to look back anymore. We want to look forward.
yeah.
So
And we have always been conservative people, conservative with the business, conservative with our house. I mean, we outgrew our house relatively quickly.
immediately.
Even this place, it was a similar situation when moving into this place. We outgrew where we were at in Woodlands because we were just running the digital printer. And then once we realized we were screen printing, we had to move into this place. And so over 8 years, I mean, this is North Creative 4.0, I want to say. And
Yeah.
pretty much as soon as we moved into here and cruise ships started coming back, we realized we had grown out of this place too. But we just were afraid because Woodlands didn't really do well during the. I mean, we kept it afloat, but a lot of it also had to do with North Creative being in that building printing, and we just didn't know. And it wasn't until it really took off last year, and the people who have been behind us and the support we've had on social media, that's really gotten people coming in. And Woodlands continues to grow, and we have to be able to supply that demand while also appeasing all of our other clients. So it really is a transitional year for us, and And you know,
it's new beginnings.
Yep, new
That is our
beginnings.
mantra. It's new beginnings in 2024.
You know, and like Spring said, I mean, there was a one point where we were just like, I don't know, do we, like, we feel like we could do it anywhere, but it's not that easy, and so everything's worked out. I'm excited for the videos. It's, you know, we're already recording stuff as this one comes out.
There's some construction taking place.
Construction's already going on, and you know, by the end of this month, we're going to be out of this place. And we're going to be full swing into that place, and we're excited to, you know, to bring you guys along on the ups and downs, and we appreciate everyone that watches us, that likes the channel, that leaves comments. You know, if you have gone through any similar situations, please let us know. I mean, we would love to talk about, you know, things you've gone through, because, you know, it's nice to have a community that shares their ups and shares their downs and their wins and their successes, and that's what we are.
It's business is wins and losses.
Yep.
And even when you believe that you're prepared for the unexpected, a new type of unexpected rolls out that you never could have seen coming, just like a global pandemic, just like a housing crisis and a housing shortage. And you know, you could think that you're as stacked and prepared with pocket aces as you can possibly get, but that's not the case when you're running a business, let alone in a geographically challenging area.
Yep. And you know, and anyone who's thinking about starting a business, as I would say, a business plan is good until you get punched in the face, and then what are you going to do? Because there's always going to be those twists and turns, and you think you have everything well laid out, but the world is always going to have something different for you, and you know, just you have to go with it and go through it. And so I hope this new beginnings for us hopefully inspires you to, if you are somebody who's doing a business, or somebody who thinks about inventing something, building something, or just somebody who likes to follow along our story, we really appreciate it. And yeah, so let's get back to work and let's get on with this video. And if you watch till the end, you'll get to see us maybe talking about some of the same things in the beginning at the end, but you'll at least see it in the new building. And so on to new beginnings.
New beginnings.
All right. Peace out. Well, if you watched the beginning of this video, you obviously saw the announcement. Yeah. So I don't want to go too much more into the announcement other than what me and Spring have already talked about. We have tons of videos planned, so we can go more in depth of the move and buying the building and the process, how long it took, all that stuff. This video, I really just wanted to focus on stuff we still have to do in this shop. I mean, we basically are at a point where it's going to be time to move. So I thought, you know, I've talked in a few videos that I wanted to do a shop tour. And so it's really hard to do shop tours. I want to do shop tours when shit is everywhere. And, you know, and that's basically what it is. And that's part of the reason why all this stuff is happening, because as tourists drive by, that all this stuff is happening is because we have no room. Alright, so this is the main printer. This is where I do all my digital printing. You've seen in a lot of videos. I was going to actually be in the video, but I don't have a lot of room to set everything up. So I'm just running out of space, and we're getting ready to move to the other building if you watch the intro. And so yeah, so I'm just going to kind of do not a voiceover, but just a behind the camera walkthrough. So this unit right here, that's where all the paper goes. If it'll open. Oh, it's because my machine's off. You know what? Anyways, you've seen it. That's where the paper goes. My bad. Let me actually get this on, because I do have some things to print, and it's been off all weekend. So this unit right here is the main unit. You can see, maybe you can see, yep, she's starting up, booting up. So that's basically where all the printing happens. In here you have all your toner. This is the main brain. This is where everything comes out. Well, let's see, she's not on yet, so it probably won't open. I'll go back to that, but now she's doing her auto test, which will basically calibrate all the colors, alignment, all the stuff before we start printing. Usually every time it turns on, it'll go through this adjustment phase and line everything up. This unit right here, as you can see, there is some stuff on the top, but this unit right here is the relay unit. This kind of decurls everything. Let me stand back. It's a very small unit, so it's really hard to see. This unit right here, you can see each unit has their own pull out. That unit, there's nothing there except for paper on top. Again, running out. I had this whole thing cleaned as you were watching the video, but now stuff has gotten back onto it because my production desks are very small. That is the IQ unit. That's what aligns everything. That's what makes sure all the colors are right, all that stuff. This other unit that again now has stuff on it is the saddle stitch unit. That's where all my calendars, booklets, all that stuff comes out of. And then over here at the end, that is just the end tray paper feed unit. As you can see, I'm working on the waterfall books. They've been printed. I need to get them off and cut. And that's where everything comes out at. So, what happens next? Well, depending on what it is. So if I'm doing, say, like a business card, like so, we'll move to the next station. So like a business card, we will go over here. Again, we're just out of space, so everything is messy. This is my laminating unit. A lot of businesses don't laminate cards. As you can see, I got these set up. These need to get laminated right now. I laminate front and back, mainly just because we like the look. It gives it a little bit extra durability, and it makes it look nice. You know, for what we charge, don't charge very cheap for business cards. We like to give it a touch. So that job right there is actually, it'll get laminated twice, front and back. And as you can see, there's a big old blank space there. So we will run that back through the paper feed unit and run it back through the printer, and it'll put a lightning bolt on it, and then we'll bring it back to this machine and we'll spot gloss it, so it'll give it an extra little shine. Alright, so this will also do like laminating for all of our book covers. If we're doing book covers, we laminate all of our book covers. I'm trying to think what else we laminate. I mean, we laminate, we don't laminate rack cards usually. Business cards, book covers, those are like the main things we tend to laminate. So for books, again, over here, this is all my stack of paper for business cards. I like to keep a lot of business card paper. Now, it looks like more than it is because 2 sheets come to a box. So, well, is it 4? 4 come to a box? Because I think this is 500 sheets. So it's not a ton of boxes, but when you separate them all out, it looks like a lot of paper stacked up. This machine right here, this does all my book block cutting. And it'll do all the final trims on my books. This is one of the first things we're going to upgrade when we get into the new building, because yeah, I just need something that handles a little bit more volume than this thing's done. But on the flip side, this thing has produced a lot of annual reports, a lot of books, and it does the job. So, you know, it's not always about a lot of it's about what you can do with what you have, and we've been able to do it. So let's just say we cut book blocks. We'll take you over to the next station. Next station is over here. Again, you can see I'm just piled. I mean, right now that's blocking my book block station. So I'm going to basically have to move all this stuff to even get into there. And I've been cleaning, and we'll keep cleaning, but it's a little bright. This is the bookbinder. You've seen it in the videos. If you watched one of the other videos, I'll link it up there. You know, whatever. You can't see my finger. I'll put it up in the description, and you can watch how the bookbinder works. But load the book block. Book block runs, niches it, glues it, and you put the cover in. Put the cover in here, and yeah. And I think the reality of this, and the reality of this shop tour is let me take a look back, is that you could just see I am out of space. So, you know, it's easy to clean a shop when things have places to go. It's hard to clean things when nothing has a place to go. And that's pretty much what we're looking at. Like right now, you know, this room has just been taken over with paper. I have paper under here. And like, you know, I can get a little bit organized, but you know, I got hats here. Shout out to Adam and Sherry of Leg Life, and Adam's new, well, it's not new, but he's definitely trying to take off his Cache Creek beard oil this summer. We have it in our Woodland store, and so we're doing him some merch hats. So we got some orange ones, and we got some black ones with his other logo. And yeah, so, you know, I mean, we do a lot in a small space, but when you have a lot and you're printing a lot, like this is all stuff for Woodlands. And a lot of it goes in the storage unit, or has been in the storage unit, but, you know, this stuff was just delivered like last week, and I could throw it in the storage unit, but then I'm just moving it again. So right now it's really just trying to figure out what we can do with what. So that was books. That's a lot of the printing stuff. Okay, so business cards. So we get done with the business cards. We'll laminate them, and they'll come over here to this machine. This machine, you've seen in other videos too, just does all the work. We set up the template, and then they'll cut, and they'll come out the back, and they're ready to box up and good to go. So, and we get our boxes. So here's our production table. As you can see, also, even our production table is just very small. Like a normal production table is twice the length of this. Ours is a very small production table, and it gets taken up really quickly. I have one box here. So that's pretty much the digital printing part of the shop tour. As you can see, we also have our laser machine. That does all the lasering for the hats. Again, this is something we're going to upgrade as soon as we get in the new building. We got this thing, didn't really know what we were going to be doing or getting into, and we've pretty much outgrown the machine. We're going to start doing tumblers and all sorts of other stuff, and we're just doing way more volume than this machine really does. For lasering, that goes over here to the hat press, which is basically next to the bookbinder. I'm not sure, you know, depending on how things go, if we can swing it, we may get another hat press. You know, I mean, we've done pretty well with one hat press. I think if we're going to invest in something else, we've looked into maybe even an embroidery machine in the new spot. And then pretty much the last things in the main shop are the roll-in large format printer, which was fun to get in, is going to be fun to get out. And then the laminator for the large format printer. And the large format does print and cut. So we'll laminate it, load it back in, and we'll cut it. So that's pretty much the main area. And you can see, I mean, there is a little kitchen back there. But as you can tell, there's not much room for storage in this place. This isn't a production building. We've made it work for 3 years, but you know, it's like right now my printing for positives is on my production table. I have to move that a lot of the times. Again, most of the winter we've kept stuff in the storage unit, and that saved us a little space, but right now I'm trying to actively print. So sending it to the storage unit is just going back to grabbing it. I mean, this is pretty much our storage area, and it's filled with paper, and it's a mess. It's destroyed. This is something I'm working on this week. This just has to get organized and start going through. But, you know, we don't, yeah, it's definitely not productive. I mean, here's our bathroom. Let's just give you an example of what we've worked with. This is our bathroom, and our bathroom also doubles because it had a shower in it because they didn't know if it was going to be a house or commercial or whatever. And there's all of our boxes and stuff. So, and then this is our technically all of our storage in this building right there. All those little shelves right there, boxes, cardboard boxes. I don't know what's on that. I could organize that. Parking cone for when we moved in, and we'll need it when we move out. And yeah, my printing shoes. So let's go over to the other area. We'll go through this door because it's basically a house and a garage. And this is the printing area. Now, you've seen me print a ton in here. It's already warm in here. Right now we've got just a bunch of stuff. I mean, with Woodlands, I've just been printing. I was supposed to be done, but then stuff starts running out, and we're still learning the game of keeping inventory in stock. So basically right here is the main printer. We upgraded this. In the new building, I'm going to have both set up. I'm going to have a 6-head and a 4-head set up. So we got this in October, and this has definitely helped with producing, you know, more volume, because instead of 4 shirts per, I'm doing 6. And then this is the Cure unit. I also picked this up in October. It's definitely helped production. In the new spot, it's going to be set up better, so I don't have to print, then cure. It's all going to be one motion. Pretty much, I mean, there isn't much to this area. Pretty much this is all my ink mixing station, and that's all storage that we built for all of our ink stuff. And I've been mixing inks and everything, so it's you know, I got some more inks to mix, so it's kind of, obviously we got ourselves some storage shelves ourselves. This is like blank shirts, some emulsion, yeah, and then it's kind of become a mess. Yeah, I have cabinets underneath that has a lot of my gallon inks. And then again, shirts that we were supposed to be printing, or not supposed to be printing, that I am actively printing, or hoodies that I'm printing. And we had them all toted up this winter and been brought down. So, you know, it's a lot. And then over here is like my rack with some clean screens, some screens I've been using and printing. This is all stuff that has to get cleaned. I had someone who worked with us. She helped out a lot, but she decided to do something different for the summer, which, you know, hey, that's part of being a business owner. So now I got to get everything cleaned, and that's basically my washout booth, my dip tank, again, also dirty. As you can see, when you're busy, it's hard. And this is probably my best investment in the screen print shop is this drying cabinet. It makes it so I don't have to have a true 80 degrees heated dark room all the time. I just put my stuff in there, and in like half hour my screens are ready. So ups production time a lot. This was another thing we upgraded, brought my exposing time when the used piece of exposing equipment I had bought was like 3 minutes it took to expose something. This is like 33 seconds. Yep, 33 seconds on a 156 screen. So unfortunately, as I was finishing my video of the shop tour and was about to show my pretty face again, my audio cut out. The road died, and that's what happens when you're busy and you don't charge your stuff. So I decided that I wanted to just add in a little bit of the camping trip that we did right after 4th of July. And yeah, so it was really nice 4th of July weekend. We enjoyed the 4th of July, took the kids to the parade, did fireworks, and I decided to take the whole weekend off. We had just bought the building, and I felt like having a little mental break for 4 days was going to be really helpful. I've been working a lot printing for the store. It has been very crazy. Buying the building has been very stressful, and so I just thought I would add in a little bit of voiceover and say I'm sorry that I didn't get the in part of the shop in, but with just kind of me talking about everything. I hope you enjoyed the shop tour. I wish I had more space and a better setup to kind of go over everything. I'm really excited to show the new shop and do the new shop tour once it's complete. And yeah, I hope you guys all had a good 4th of July weekend. And now that our stuff is over, why don't we take you to the new building? Life is good, life is good, yeah. I'll go then first. All right. It's not like I'm not the face of this YouTube channel as it is, but
We're here in the new building.
yes, we are here in the new building, and as you can see, it's very empty and very open, and there's a lot of work to do.
A lot of work is ahead of us for sure. This place used to do boat engine repair.
Yep.
So there's some oil we got to clean up everywhere, and we're going to transform this place over the next 60 days into our dream creative studio.
Yeah, actually we're starting pretty quick. I'm pretty much going to go, I think the next videos that we'll be doing is we're going to demo. I'll show you as we get through the videos. We won't do a full tour of this yet. Actually, I might take you around and show you a little bit of everything. But I'm going to start in the showroom, do some demoing. I got a couple guys who are coming out. We are going to epoxy this whole concrete area so we can bring machines in and use it to our needs.
Right, like we basically want to create a clean environment in here, and so we're doing some really cool black epoxy flake. It's really going to just polish this place up and make it suitable for the type of presentation that we want to give to our customers, but also to you guys.
Yeah, and if you see up there right now, that's a 400 square foot kind of used as storage. We are actually going to extend that and make that 1,600 square feet of usable
Offices,
space.
creative studios, a break room, and a little
new
kitchenette.
YouTube studio.
I'll have an office. I'll have space to draw that's quiet, which, all I've had is a shared space. Which machines are constantly running, and then phones are ringing, and then so I'm constantly like distracted when I'm drawing. So it's going to be nice to just be able to shut the door and concentrate on my drawing.
Yeah. I mean, basically by the time we're out of this place, it'll be 3 years since we moved into the 1,000 square foot thing. And
where we're at now, I mean, talk about a 3x level up.
yeah, and and we'll get into this story more. There's definitely stories to tell about buying the building, moving from the bedroom up into this stage. It's a huge step, and we've faced all the emotions. And though we didn't record a lot of that part because it was just a lot of stress on top of running the business, I figured once we're done with everything, we can reflect on what it was like. And I think that allows us to kind of reflect on it ourselves. And, I mean, it was just a lot.
Things just didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Our plan was essentially hijacked.
Yep.
We'll get into that later. Things are unfolding definitely backwards, not the way that we wanted it to go. But, I woke up one day, I think it was like a few days before we closed, and I said, while this isn't the way we wanted it to happen, maybe this is what was supposed to happen. So we're trying not to look behind too much and just look forward. And I think this is just what was meant to be the next step for us.
I think it's a vision, and it allows us to grow the business. It allows us to hopefully find
We're
someone
tripping
to-
over each
yeah.
other. I mean, we were half working out of a storage unit, half in a garage, half here in a 1,000 square foot office. It's a lot, and it just creates inefficiencies. And so we're looking to get all of that cleaned up just so we can have smarter business.
Yep. So we're excited to bring you guys along. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll definitely see all the ups and downs of this because, yeah, pretty much it's about demo time. So, like I said, stay tuned for more videos. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. We're going to, we hope you could see through the tour of this video what we had been working with. And now you can see what we're going to be working with. And we're excited to show you guys the completed project. And, yeah, bring you on this next
room
chapter of
for
our
a lot,
business.
room for a lot more projects.
Yeah. Hopefully a couple employees, because I would like to,
Not do everything ourselves.
Spend some time with the kids, and I think that's another thing. We just never saw it being this big, and so now we're learning to have to let go of some of this stuff so we can continue to grow and do the things that we want to do in our plans. And so thank you guys again for watching us, and we appreciate it. And stay tuned to the new beginnings.
New beginnings.
All right, let's get back to work.